Hello, welcome back to the channel. I am Flearu, your host for today. Recently, I've been experimenting a couple of things on this YouTube channel. One, my music. One was just a random playlist of songs, but the other two are mine. I made them. Some gameplay from my Twitch channel. Now we're gonna get into some true crime, missing 411, ghost stories type of videos. I really enjoy watching these videos and reading these stories, so I thought, why not try to make it myself? Yeah, if you guys enjoy this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I'll be expanding more viewer submissions and stuff later in the future if you guys enjoy this. And today we're gonna get into some mysteries slash missing 411 cases. These are more common cases, mostly because I already know a lot of you have already heard these stories before, so I'm not gonna dive deep into them. They're more like a summary, more like a discussion piece, and maybe in the future I'll make more of a focused video on either one of them or a couple of them, longer videos, etc. But for today we're covering 3 stories. Let's get right into it. And before we get too far into this, I'm not sure what to call this show. Right now I am teetering on Fates of Fear or Fleet of Fear. Let me know which one you guys like more in the comments. But let's get into this first case, the disappearance of Dennis Martin. In June of 1969, 6-year-old Dennis Martin vanished into thin air in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And to this day, nobody knows what happened to him. It was Father's Day weekend. The Martins family had traveled to the Smoky Mountains for a camping trip near a place called Spence Field, a remote area surrounded by thick forest and steep mountain terrain. The atmosphere out there feels ancient. Dense trees, heavy fog, long stretches of silence. The kind of place where you suddenly realize how small you are. And on that day, 6-year-old Dennis realized just how small he is. Dennis was with his family near the campsite when he and a few other kids decided to go play a harmless prank. The boys planned to hide behind the bushes and jump out to scare the adults. After a while, the other kids came back. Dennis never did. At first, nobody panicked. They assumed he wandered a little too far into the woods, but after several minutes turned into an hour, the search began, and what followed became one of the largest search operations in American history. Hundreds of volunteers, FBI agents, Green Berets, and search dogs started searching for Dennis. Yet somehow, there was almost no trace of Dennis Martin. No footprints, no torn clothes, and no sign of struggle. Nothing at all. And then, witnesses began reporting strange details. One family that was hiking several miles away claimed they saw a large, rough-looking man carrying something over his shoulder through the forest. They described him almost like a wild mountain man. According to the witnesses, the figure moved quickly into the trees before disappearing. That report was never fully followed up by the authorities. Search dogs struggled strangely in the area. Some reportedly lost scent trails suddenly and out of nowhere. Heavy rain later moved into the mountains, making conditions even worse. But even after extensive searches, no remains were ever conclusively found. That's what makes this case terrifying. In most missing persons cases, eventually there's an answer. Either it was an accident, or there's just some sort of evidence. At least something. But with Dennis Martin, it's like the trees and the forest swallowed him whole. And many years later, this case became one of the foundations of what people will now call missing 411. Cases where people disappear in wilderness areas under bizarre circumstances that don't make any full sense. Some believe Dennis got lost and succumbed to the elements. Others believe he may have been abducted, which is what I believe, honestly. And then there are darker theories. Theories about strange things hidden deep in the national parks, places where people vanish without explanation. Even today, hikers in the Smoky Mountains talk about an eerie feeling in certain areas, a strange silence, almost like the woods were always holding its breath right before something bad happened. And somewhere out there, the mystery of Dennis Martin will forever remain unsolved. Now, with that one out of the way, and whether you believe he was or was not abducted, or maybe something else mysterious happened, I don't think anyone can deny that this is one of the most strange and bizarre cases of a missing person ever. Now, we move on to story number 2, or case number 2, whatever you want to call it. The strange case of Lars mittank. I hope I'm saying that right. There's something deeply unsettling about watching someone vanish on camera because, the moment is actually real. And in 2014, a German tourist named Lars mittank, I genuinely hope I'm saying that right, was captured acting terrified moments before disappearing forever. Lars had traveled with friends to Bulgaria for vacation. At first, everything seemed normal. Partying, beach trip, photos. But near the end of the trip, Lars got into a fight at a bar and injured his ear. Doctors advised him to not fly due to the pressure risks from flying. So his friend returned home while Lars stayed behind alone for one more day. That's when things became strange. Lars started sending paranoid texts messages to his mother. He claimed people were following him. He said he felt unsafe. He repeatedly whispered on the phone that they were after him. Nobody knew who they were, but they were concerned. The next morning, Lars arrived at the airport. Surveillance footage shows him acting nervous and distracted. Then a doctor entered the airport office to examine him briefly. And suddenly, for no apparent reason, Lars panicked. He stood up and sprinted out of the airport at full speed. No one knows why exactly he started running. Not even the doctor can explain it, but he did not seem calm at all. He ran in full panic towards the exit. And once he reached outside, the cameras captured him climbing over a fence and disappearing into the nearby woods. And that's the last time the world ever saw him. And I mean the very last time. There was no bodies, no confirmed sightings anywhere else in the town, or no anything. Years later, people will still analyze the footage, trying to understand what terrified him so badly. Was he expressing paranoia? Was someone actually after him? Did he encounter foul play after fleeing into the wilderness? The footage is horrifying because Lars genuinely looked afraid, not confused, not even intoxicated, terrified. Imagine being in a foreign country, convinced something is haunting you, and then vanishing completely. Some theorists say he suffered a mental breakdown. Others believe a criminal group may have been involved. But no theory fully explains why he abandoned everything and ran like his life depended on it. To this day, the last image of Lars mittank is still one of the internet's most disturbing disappearances. A man sprinting into nowhere as if he saw something the rest of us could never see. Now, what do you guys think of this story? I genuinely do not know what happened to Lars, nor can I theorize really. Most I can say is he might have had a mental breakdown. I don't see any other explanation for it, but I'd like to hear your theories in the comment below. And now, before we get to this last story, I would like to remind you guys again that you can subscribe to the channel for free. And not only that, you can like and comment not only your stories, your opinions, and your theories, but also other stories you might want me to cover, either lesser known or just ones you want me to talk about in more detail in other videos and a dedicated video, etc. But also, I'd like to remind you guys to go follow me on Twitch. I do play games. I play Minecraft. I play Marvel Rivals. I play Call of Duty. If you guys want to play with me, go watch me. I'm more than down to play with you guys. But if you just want to watch, I'm usually pretty chill. I don't scream a lot. It depends, but I don't scream a lot. So if you guys want to watch that, I would really appreciate the support. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and let's continue the video. Now, this next case is very famous. You definitely heard of it. It's called the Dyatlov Pass Incident. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers entered the Ural Mountains in Soviet Russia. None of them came back alive, and what rescuers discovered months later became one of the most disturbing mysteries in modern day history. And this is one of my favorite stories. The group of 9 was highly experienced. They weren't amateurs. They were skilled hikers trained for harsh winter survival. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the group planned an expedition across the remote mountain range, known for brutal weather and isolation. At first, everything went according to plan. The hikers documented their trip with photographs and journals, smiley faces, campfires, snow-covered landscapes. But then, out of nowhere, communication stopped. When rescue teams finally located the campsite, they found something terrifying. The tent had been ripped open from the inside, not unzipped, slashed open outward, as if the hikers were desperate to escape immediately. And it gets worse. Footprints showed the group fled barefoot into the freezing snow at night. Temperatures were far below zero. Some bodies were discovered under a tree miles away from the camp. Others were found partially dressed or partially nude, whatever you want to say. Almost like they tried wearing each other's clothes to survive. But several deaths made absolutely no sense at all. One hiker suffered massive chest trauma, comparable to a car crash, without external wounds. Another had severe skull fractures. One victim's tongue was missing. Investigators couldn't fully explain what happened. Avalanche theories emerged, and other theories, such as military experiments, secret weapons, panic from natural causes, and others. Every explanation leaves unanswered questions. Why cut open the tent from the inside? Why run into sudden death without proper clothing? What caused the injuries to be so severe? Even stranger, some clothing repeatedly tested positive for radiation. Over time, the Dyatlov Pass incident became legendary online because the case feels wrong, like something happened in that mountain that night. Something so terrifying. 9 experienced hikers chose the freezing wilderness over staying inside their tent, where it's warm and somewhat safe. And whatever they encountered not only left them terrified and led them to their death, it's something they can never escape from. With that, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary people, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I would love to make another one for you guys, maybe on a more focused subject, a more deep dive type of video, or maybe another compilation video just like this one. You guys let me know. Just leave it in the comments. Tell me what you want me to cover, or even leave your own stories of some paranormal or strange things that happened to you. Yeah, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear your theories as well. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and check out my Twitch in the description. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your support. I guess this is the first episode of something. You guys will have to help me decide on the name. So yeah, thank you for being here. See ya. Bye.